Our next guest played in 3 premiership teams with the Blues before moving over to St Kilda as a player and then a coach. Please welcome Ken Sheldon! Ken, welcome to Marngrook, mate. Great to have you on.
Thank you, Grant. Fantastic to be here.
Well, let's talk about your career first, shall we? At Carlton, and you played there for a number of years, as I mentioned, 3 premierships, but where was you recruited from and how did you enjoy your time at Carlton?
It was a little place called Midiamo, Grant, which is Aboriginal for resting place.
Oh,
so
okay.
there you go.
Well, I'm
So you've got a hard trainer. Roddy's from there too.
Your place.
That's where I'm going to live.
Long way from Western Australia, but
That's where I'm moving to.
quaint little place, and yeah, just out of Echuca, and it's in those days we had the permit system, so Carlton invited down to play in the practice games.
Kenny, late 70s, through the late 70s, your era into the 80s, you talked about giving, the accountability and players giving a good account of themselves. I mean, you always found something in finals. I mean, I think of the 82 grand final, you went in as underdogs. There was certainly in the 70s there were grand finals before your era. But you always found something in finals. And just give us a bit of insight into just that back end, that background of the incentive for a lot of the players.
Yeah, that's good, Peter. When you're inducted into Carlton as a kid, the guys like Wes Lofts, the fathers of the club, like they would educate you fairly strictly to what you needed to be able to do, and that was to play well at Princes Park and to play well at the MCG. And then later, of course, Waverley. But the Princes Park, which was our home ground, Optus Oval, now Visy Park, and the MCG. They were the 2 arenas that you had to play well in, and you had to play well against, guess who? Collingwood, Richmond and Essendon, because they were the big teams of the day, and that was where the competition was for the premierships.
Kenny, I was just going to ask you, you played with a lot of great players, but personally yourself, when you went out, what team did you fear and who did you fear when you went out there across the white line?
No, I think again, because you were inducted into needing to perform against those bigger sides, you always set yourself to play really, really well against the Hawthorns, against the Collingwoods in particular, against the Richmonds, against the Essendons, those type of sides. And you certainly had a fear for them, yeah, because if you had a weakness, they'd expose it.
Who was your toughest opponent that you've come across?
Oh, I think there were plenty, but
battles.
yeah, but I think Mark Williams was probably as good as any. Yeah. He was a great player. Jeff Rains was a great player. Barry Rawlings from there's just some wonderful players that you played against. Timmy Watson, it just went on and on and on. Merv Nagel, there's plenty.
And Kenny, ran into you down the coffee shop down at Carlton some time ago now, mate, and we started talking footy. You're still watching the odd game here, and how do you like the way the game's going, the path that it's taking at the moment? Oh, look, I love it, Chris. I go along most weeks and try and watch the Blues, and if I can't watch the Blues, I watch the Saints. And, I'm sort of pretty fortunate in that way that I can, and with our business we can go along and do those type of things. And the game today is it's sensational, the hardness of the players, the way they run. We could have a rest stakes, but and you blokes a decade later probably every now and again, but now they can't. They're exposed any time they're having a break. So it's just wonderful to watch. Same frustrations get me though, miss kicking when you shouldn't be, and lining up for goal and missing the easy ones and da-da-da-da-da. All that sort of stuff, and occasionally you see a bloke take the eyes off the ball and take a sidestep, but I suppose that's always been in the game. Yeah, always been in the game. But today, I think the difference probably is that they do run harder, and they're probably all more better educated as a collective than we ever were.
So we weren't educated back then.
Well, I think there are a few that led us along, Ronnie. I think there are a few that led us along.
I thought I was educated.
I'm not sure whether you're a leader or a follower.
I was a follower.